Hey, this is Jennifer, and I just want to show you a couple of tips that I use on my library sign-in that make it very helpful. So most librarians have some type of a sign-in where students put their name and their teacher and the class period and the time that they've come to the library so that students can be tracked later if they don't come back from a class or they spend too much time somewhere. And it's just helpful to gather information to look at the traffic that your library is getting. I started using a Google form for this sign in a couple of years ago. And the reason that I use a Google form instead of a printed form is that I can share the responses to my Google form in real time with my teachers through their Google Drive. There's no need to call me or to email and hope that I get it and can answer back, or even to come all the way down to the library and look through pages of written handwriting to figure out which student is when and what's their names and did they ever make it. It's so much easier just to share the spreadsheet that the Google form creates so that teachers and counselors and principals from the comfort of their desk in their classrooms or offices can check that information. Now, these are the questions that I typically ask on my form. In my library, we have two locations. We have the library. We also have the hub, and the hub is where students get help with their iPads. They might get a loaner iPad, or maybe if their iPad's not working or they need an app, that's where they'll go. So that's the first question I always ask so that I can differentiate the information that I'm getting. Does it belong to the library or does it belong to the hub? Of course, you need student information. I need name and ID so I can identify the student. For me, I want to know the teacher's name because if I'm seeing lots of students come with a specific teacher, then that tells me maybe that teacher is doing a project that I should know about. And it gives me an opportunity to open a conversation with that teacher and offer my assistance. I also like to know what class period they're coming to the library so I can track my traffic patterns. For instance, I know that before school and fourth period, which is our class that straddles lunch, those are the most busy times in my library. I know that other periods in the day where I don't see as much traffic, I can see which class periods are coming. It gives me some feedback on if I want to plan something new, when to figure out the best time frame based on our general traffic patterns. Another question I always ask is, what's the purpose of your visit? So if I have lots of students that come in, they're wanting to read or quietly study, then that tells me I need to provide a space for that. This may be separated and apart from, say, my maker space, which tends to be louder or rowdy and more collaboration happening there. I also find this information helpful for looking at computer usage. If I've got lots of students coming in to use the computers and then the tech department wants to talk about what technologies the students are they using the printers and the computers, or are they using mostly their iPads? Well, this is great documentation that I can go back to and say, yeah, this 50% of my traffic every day is computer usage. So that can kind of help us make some decisions that we need to make when it comes to technology. I also will sometimes toss in a question at the end just to get some more information from them. So let's pretend like I want to try a new event or a new programming idea. If I throw that in at the end, then I get some feedback from my students. Maybe I've bought a couple of new pieces of furniture and I want some feedback on what do people think about the furniture. I might toss those in at the bottom. But these are my standard questions that I ask all the time, not just to track students, but also to get some information and some feedback that I can use for programming decisions, collaboration, and other possible ideas in the future. I hope you find this helpful. Our next video will show you how I make the back end work for my teachers and my principals and make life easier on me. Have a great day. If you want to learn more, visit my website at www.teachinnovate.learn.com.